I hope you understood the emotion and so on that I displayed, and I grew up stuttering. I have a big heart for people with impediments of whatever ability to form words into meaning and stuff like that. You know, I set out to speak about my grandson, and I tried about twice so far and failed. And not even going to try this time. Um, I stay at a little motel down there in Innisvale, right next to Boston Pizza, and and I like staying there because too cold to sleep in my little trailer out at my son's place. And my son and his wonderful lady, they always give me a place to sleep and all that stuff. But I hate imposing on people, and they're just so kind and considerate, and they are. They're good people. They're ranch people, good kids, and so I avail myself of a wonderful place to sleep in that hotel motel. I don't know the difference, and well, I can't even remember the name, Best Western or something like that. Wonderful place. Well, not too expensive either, and I introduce myself every chance I get by asking people, "Do you watch YouTube?" I say I have 500 and some odd videos. Well, it's getting more today, probably 556, counting this one. And I tell them that story of how my son was so terribly injured. And I had the privilege and the honor of speaking with a surgeon um, before I headed south to see where we. And I'll get to my grandson yet. And the surgeon was checking some body parts out. I've had 60, 70 broken bones. There's no exaggeration to that. I've had 15 major surgeries that required anesthetic because gravity does not like Irish people, and I have ridden some horses that weren't well trained yet because I trained them. And the doctor was going over this subject and so on, and I didn't like hearing what he was talking about, and so I said, I have a YouTube channel, and one of the main videos on there is my son's miracle. And I quickly got telling him, and all of a sudden he stopped playing with the silly laptop, and he looked at me, and I said, and my 18-year-old boy, so on and so on and so on, was rushed from Owls Hospital. He said, Owls Hospital. I said, yeah. I said, we rushed him to Foothills and back to Owls to pass away. The doctors did not think he had any hope. Of course, there's no hope in hell, but we put our hope in the Creator in heaven, the blood of Jesus the Christ. And he said, I work in Olds. I said, really? He said, yeah. I work up here in Fort Mac, but I also work down in Olds. And so I told him more of the story about my 18-year-old boy coming out of his coma, getting out of bed, walking in, using the restroom, getting dressed, and was headed out for coffee. 20 hours before, no one but God, I believe his mom, myself, Jesus, we believed with our whole hearts that he would live. But listen, believe in means very little because I don't know why one child lives and one child dies. But anyway, as a surgeon, I kind of thought, I kind of thought is gonna put me down pretty hard. People do that. They're usually pretty mean when they do it. He said, you know, Jim, he said, you know, I had a stroke victim. And that stroke victim, I'm not sure if this wasn't in Ools, but I'm not positive. He said he was comatose. He was dying. Stroke, terrible. Couldn't talk. Couldn't do anything. Just lie there in a coma type thing. And he said a nurse uh, during the night called him and said, "You got to come and see this." And he said, "Well, what do you mean?" "Well, this stroke victim is sitting in a chair and he's talking and he wants to know what's going on." And the surgeon that I was talking to, he said, I rushed down to his room. The nurse was right beside herself. She didn't even have a clue. She didn't understand what was going on. He said, thank God I'm formulating sentence structure a little better. I do believe it is due to the excitement. And it was exciting. He said, I walked in and I spoke with that man, and that man spoke back. That man was dying of 2 types of cancer. But the Creator healed him of the stroke. He said, you know, Jim, I sent him home the next day. I sent him home. He died. He said he died, but it took about a year, 6 months or a year. And in the meantime, he was perfectly healed from the stroke. So he was able to revel in talking with his family, had a birthday party. And you see, we don't understand what God is doing. And I go back to my son's miracle, and I do not know why one child lives and one child dies. I know it's very difficult to lose a child and not lose a marriage partner because because people walk in such sadness. It's terrible. Anyways, I I start a video and only God himself knows where it's going to go. And so I'm gonna cut this one short and start another. Almost stuttered. It's not gonna happen. God bless you.